Today on CityCast Chicago, what is the future of the West Ridge YMCA? Have you heard of the Adam Jacobs Archive? And what did y'all think were Chicago's worst ever sports trades? It's Monday, April 13th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about. I've got two very special guests in the building with us today. Veronica Ariola, writer, professional feminist, and women's sports evangelist. Welcome to CityCast Chicago.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Longtime listener, first-time caller. We appreciate you being here. We've also got Jill Hopkins, writer, host, producer with Metro and G-Man Tavern, back in the building with us. Jill, it's good to see you, my friend.
Hey, man, it's good to see you too.
We've got y'all in here on what feels like a very joyous day, having both of y'all in the building. But as I look out my window, it's a little rainy, a little gloomy, right? Getting into that springtime vibe. And so I want to know, what's something that's bringing you joy, a little sunshine right now? Veronica, I'm going to start with you.
I have been all up in a lot of the queer dance parties.
Okay.
Old Gold was last weekend. Last night is a show that I co-host with a friend called Picture Peeps, where people are looking for new connections and, having a room full of queers and music and moving, and it's amazing.
Oh, you're going to have to put us on. You're going to need to send us some upcoming dates so we can add them to our events calendar.
Absolutely.
Jill, what about you? What's making you smile right now? What's bringing you a little joy out in these streets?
I love love, and it's about to be wedding season.
Oh.
And I'm excited. Open bar, dance floor, new dress. Gonna steal a centerpiece. Gonna celebrate my friends. I can't wait.
Yep. I went to a few weddings last year, including my little sister's wedding. It was a glorious time. I cried at least 17 total times in the few days that I was there. Like when she turned that corner and my older brother was walking her down the aisle, I'm talking boom, boom. I'm going to one of my partner Taylor's best friend's wedding in May, I believe. I'm excited to get out there. I haven't been to quite a few in my life. And so as of right now, I ain't tired of them just yet.
No, I'm always gonna have fun at a wedding. I'm gonna get the dance floor started. I know all the slides,
Yes.
all the shuffles.
Every day on the podcast, we have these amazing people in talking about the stories around town that matter to them. And Veronica, I want to start with you. Chicagoland YMCA locations have fallen on hard times in recent decades. The Austin neighborhood lost their location in 2012. South Chicago in 2017, then the West Ridge location in 2021. And that's not counting some of the suburban locations that have been lost. Lake County, Waukegan, Naperville, and more. Veronica, I know the West Ridge location was your home site. What's the latest news here?
The latest news is that despite the fact that the neighborhood has been fighting to keep it open, Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky brought in $3.75 million for renovation. But despite all of these efforts, it looks like the Y is going to sell the land. This location also has a swimming pool and has been cited as why the neighborhood has been fighting for it so hard. We are located really close to the lake, and a lot of neighbors have cited this is where they learned how to swim and then could enjoy Lake Michigan safely.
I mean, 2020, 2021, we were expecting closures happening in and around our neighborhoods. And like you said, neighbors really fought to keep this one open. What was your reaction when you first heard that staff members were going to be shutting this location down?
It was really disappointing because this Y is a center of the community, has been a center of the community for a really long time. My daughter went to summer camp there a few summers.
What was the original reason they said they were closing the location? And also, with nearly $4 million brought in to try and save it, why haven't they been able to sort of bring this site back online?
There are a lot of renovations that have to happen with this building. And again, it has a swimming pool, and then being closed now for almost 5 years, I'm sure those renovations have just gotten worse. And there was a small period where the building was used to house some of the migrants from Venezuela. So it was being used in a manner that it's not planned for.
I mean, officials talk about those renovations that are needed. They talk about dwindling membership over the years. But as someone who was using the location, one, I want to know what has the community lost with this site being shut down. But also, I know people had concerns about the prices of the Y. Like, was it still an accessible like place for people in the community?
The pricing was really getting to people, but at the same time, the neighbors who were really fighting for this did not want to turn to more corporate places for working out. And as well as the Y is, as I said, more of a community center. It does a lot for after school, summer camps, providing lunches, a place for seniors to hang out during the day. It's not just an exercise facility.
Young adult and adult memberships were previously $31 and $55 respectively. Those have been dwindled down into one membership that's $65 per month. For anyone 18 and older, I think it's about $25 per person to like add someone to a family plan. And so I know for a lot of people, they have started looking elsewhere. Maybe it's harder to get to one now. And even if is one in your location, those prices have scared some people away. As somebody who's tried to talk with the officials directly, what is your confidence in what feels like a start and stop process over the last few years? Like they've never really said we'll never open back up. But they sort of kept you on the hook. Like, maybe a seller comes in and a third party wants to renovate and bring back the Y. Maybe it turns into an alternative community resource. What confidence do you have in some of these statements that have been put out?
Not a lot of confidence. I mean, as I was saying earlier, Congressman Schakowsky got $3.7 million for the renovation. That money can only be used for renovation of that property. And so in the announcing that they want to sell this property, there also did leave this little tail saying, if somebody wants to come and buy this property and renovate it, that fits the needs of this federal funding, then maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like we're getting really straight answers from them about what is going to actually happen with this piece of property.
We don't know exactly right now what the sale price is or again, what the future of this location, but it's a story we will continue to follow. And my family stories of the Y kind of feel like stories of the projects. It's just things that my parents and my grandparents tell stories of now. It feels like more and more people in my generation and younger don't have those stories to go back to, don't have that experience of growing up learning to swim in the Y. Like that's what my mom and my dad told me stories of. So my hope is that there is some good news. I know like out in Schaumburg, theirs closed down a couple of years ago, but they're planning to reopen at a new site. And so my hope is where there are still locations that they can be put to some use for the community versus becoming these symbols like a shuttered school of what the community used to have.
That's what we have right now. There's a lot of graffiti on the building, and it's just sitting there teasing us about what it could be.
Oh, that South Chicago closing was close to home. That was the one closest to the home that my parents and my grandmother lived in the 1980s. And I hate that I have to say 1980s like it's a historical time, but I guess it is. Between that Y and the Diet Park pool, those are the pools that I learned how to swim in. And it's terrible because more kids of color need to know how to swim. Every kid should learn how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
And taking that resource away from them is, actively kind of putting them in a bit of danger. It's taking away a life-saving lesson that could come in very, very handy at some point in the future.
The Pulitzer Prize and Tony Award winning musical South Pacific is coming to the Paramount Theater in downtown Aurora. And it's got everything folks have come to love about the World War II drama. Spy missions, captivating love stories, and of course, all the classic songs like Some Enchanted Evening, Bolly Hey, I'm Gonna Wash That Man Right Out of My Hair. South Pacific is running from April 29th to June 14th at Paramount Theater, and tickets start at $31 when purchased in person. There are additional fees when you buy it on your phone or online. You can get your tickets today at ParamountAurora.com. Now, we all know this. Spring in Chicago demands a lot and puts a lot of strain on our windows. Some days we want them open so we can enjoy that nice breeze and a little bit of sunshine we get. Others, we need them sealed tight to trap in the heat or keep out all the rain. So between all this up and down weather we done had lately, you really got to ask yourself if your old windows are cutting it. And if the answer is no, their time has come and gone, then luckily the pros at Window Nation can help you get new energy efficient windows at a great price. Window Nation's The More You Buy, The More You Save sale is going on right now, and you can get up to 50% off all of your window needs for your home. The experts will make sure your new windows fit perfectly and keep your home comfortable all year round, and the installation is quick and easy. So don't wait, the sale ends soon. Schedule a fast free consultation now at windownation.com. Our next story is going to kind of take us back to the 1980s in some respect as well. Jill Merriam-Webster defines melomaniac as someone with an inordinate liking for music or melody, excessive or abnormal attraction to music. It's also the name of a 2023 documentary I just watched about a Chicagoan who, as the definition suggests, has had an obsession with live music in this city for the last 40 years. Jill, you've been in Chicago's music scene for a little bit, right? I think people would say you've been around the block.
Several blocks.
Who is Adam Jacobs?
Well, Adam Jacobs, we'd call him the taping guy when we'd see him at the shows. And there's a really good reason for that. This man, over the past 30 plus years, 40 plus years, oh my goodness, 40 plus years, has taped over 10,000 live shows in Chicago and a few in other places. But I mean, starting in like 1984, he would just go to 2 or 3 shows a week back when that was an affordable thing you could do, with just a little tape recorder like you would have at home to record anything off the radio. And as time went on and his taping equipment got better and venues' sound systems got better, we have just a time capsule of almost 40 years of music in Chicago. And it's one part amazing and glorious, another part overwhelming, and a third part incredibly impressive, because it's not just this guy. He's got a team of people now that have been helping him digitize all of this tape, or DATs or mini discs or whatever he was using at the time. And it just seems nobody's making any money off of this.
Yeah.
It seems like just such a labor of love that it's really, we've known about this happening for a while, but the national outlets are just now picking up on it, and I'm really happy for all of them.
And the archive is available online. People can start going through it, searching through it. I mean, when I watched this documentary, I immediately sent it to my friend Connor, who I run Karaoke Storytellers with, and his first reaction was, haha, I used to buy weed from him. He has hours upon hours of TJ and Dave live improv show, a legendary improv duo in the city. And he said he's the type of guy you'd always think someone should do a documentary on. And as I watched it, you got this feeling that not only did he have a great passion and obsession with this, but for up and coming musicians, at first there was this just familiarity. He's always there. Then for musicians, it was this sense of if he was there, that said something about where we were in our career. You know, for some of these venue owners, if he was there during his heyday, there was a sense that like, oh, we're booking the right people if Adam is at the door. And I think, Jill, did you ever run into Adam at these concerts, and what was his reputation?
Oh, you'd run into Adam at the concerts. You'd run into him at the bar after the concert. You'd, run into him at the hot dog place after the bar, after the concert. He was ubiquitous. And I was going through, it's on the Internet Archive database, which is a great resource for all sorts of cool things. TV shows that you can't screen anymore. He was just a fixture. You would see him kind of out of the corner of your eye. And for a while there, I just thought he had a lot of jobs. I thought he worked at all these places. And it turns out he's just doing it for the love of the game. And like I said, he's not making any money. They've had to go back and ask these artists if they have their permission to put them online with, the big caveat that like, we're not trying to sell this. We're just trying
Right.
to make it so that other people can hear these shows. And a lot of the times the bands are just like, oh my God, I can't believe somebody recorded this show. I forgot we even played that place. And yeah, uh, only a couple of people have said no to him. But this is such a treasure. The rabbit hole is so deep here.
So I've been listening to this recording from 1988 of Tracy Chapman Live. And again, the quality is so good. This is what I imagine a live unplugged kind of an album to sound like. And I, again, I can't believe they've been able to preserve so many of these recordings, especially when I'm looking at the documentary and just honestly and admittedly, I can't even recognize some of this technology. And it sounds like some of the people helping archive it have never seen some of this technology either.
Yeah, I mean, there's people in their 30s doing a lot of this work, and it's like, digging up an archaeological site. Oh, what is this? A cassette?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about that is, so he would be around so often that eventually he made friends with these sound people, and they would just let him record straight from the board. So you've got that perfect dialed in mix after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you think about how, uh, tape can disintegrate. Tape
Yeah.
dissolves over time. So he agreed to have all of this digitized because he realized that the time was ticking. These tapes were not long for this world. And if he wanted some of these earlier recordings to see the light of day, that this was, his last chance to do it. And I'm looking at all sorts of friends bands, bands that I've been in, all sorts of venues that
Bands you've
closed.
been in, I need the names so I can go search through this archive. Come on. Don't
There's
just
a
slide past
show
that.
from Girl Group Chicago, which is a group I was in for a while. It was the first show at Shuba's, and I believe 2012. But there's also just shows I was like, I was at that one. Oh my goodness. I don't remember that because it was 2-for-1 shots that day. It was a time. We had a time.
Is he still out recording? Like, is this still an experience people can happen upon?
He's not still out recording. There's
Mhm.
not much after 2019. He says it's a young man's game going to 2, 3 shows a week.
Mhm.
And he does still go to shows, and he'll probably record one here or there if it's particularly notable. But I think at this point he just wants to go and not have to worry about anything.
Mhm.
Just let the show happen. And he's done so much. I mean, already, if he never picked up another tape recorder again, I don't think anybody would say it's because he hasn't recorded enough shows.
This is amazing. And I am definitely going to dive into that rabbit hole. Definitely going to check out that Tracy Chapman show. I grew up in the suburbs and moved here for college, and I did not go to even close to as many live shows as I should have in my
Mhm.
20s and 30s. So I feel like I can go back and just like relive the days I missed.
That's a good way of looking at it. Jill, you got any other recommendations for us? It's a big archive. Give us some
It is a big
guidance.
archive. I'm obviously biased towards a lot of those Metro shows, but
Hmm.
there's a Boogie Down Productions one from 1988, which must have had 20 people on stage. You know how they do. And I'm just knowing what I know about the building and the infrastructure and how it works. I'm just like, that sounds logistically so
Hmm.
stupid. But then you've got something like there's so much stuff from Lounge Acts, which is a club that I didn't get to go to because they closed 4 months before I turned 21. So
Mm.
I'm getting to see what the Jesus Lizard was like at Lounge Acts, which is where the rock and roll time machine would take me first. There's a Fugazi at the Aragon in '93. So you get all the good parts of going to the Aragon without any of the bad parts about going to the
Hmm.
Aragon. I mean, it's venues great and small, but it's incredible
Yeah.
how meticulous they are. They're trying to get the track listings correct. They're, when they can, they list the musicians
Hmm.
involved. And I'm just so impressed by the level of organization that goes with the love of music here, because sometimes, at least in my brain, those two things don't exist. I can be creative or I can be organized, but I am rarely doing both at the same time. And these people have figured out a way to get that done in a way that helps us all.
Before we get out of here, let's do a quick little mailbag where we hear from our audience on some stories we've recently covered. First up, after the Chicago Sky traded All-Star Angel Reese, I posted on our Instagram about some of the worst trades in Chicago history. Before I get to what we heard in the comments, I'm curious, what was y'all reaction to the Reese news? I knew like right now, a bunch of free agents in the WNBA are moving around after the CBA, but this feels like shooting yourself in the foot.
So selfishly, I just launched a women's sports newsletter. So this was great for this.
Please plug it.
So, I will plug it. Yes, it's called Women's Sports Chicago. It's very simple. But yes, this was, man, the sky just keeps shooting itself in its foot. It's like they're so cheap. They're not willing to do anything to invest in the players and the franchise and the fan base. And it's just like, they're still thinking that just because Chicago has a franchise that we should all just turn out and be like, yeah, we're happy. And the standards have changed. The standards have changed and they need to change with that, or sell the team to someone who's going to actually invest and grow this space in Chicago.
That part. And a lot of people in our comments agree with that. We had some trolls as well. But I love the fact that we had people who was willing to go troll the trolls, calling them all kinds of old man, shut up, go in the house, get off my lawn. But yeah, a lot of people was like trading, right? The team record wasn't great the last couple of years, right? There were still conversations about like the chemistry and the future of this team, but it was clear ownership and the leaders on the team in the front office weren't doing enough to smooth some of those things out. Clearly didn't have a long-term vision for the team, but trading away one of the faces of the league at this momentous time just don't feel like good business.
The optics alone are so bad.
Yeah. I mean, from the moment she got here, y'all introducing her and what felt like an elementary school gym all the way up to this point, letting her go right before the season is going to start, just didn't do her right.
I just hope she's loved in Atlanta.
That is what I've loved about the reactions on your post, is that Chicagoans who still and will always love Angel are like, we hope she does great in Atlanta. We're still going to be rooting for her.
I'm a follower. I'm going to keep supporting her. When we looked into the comments in terms of what some other trades that stuck out for people, trades that I didn't put on my list, people said Io, the recent trade of Io to Minnesota. They said, I'm a Timberwolves fan now. Io came up a couple of times in the comments, mostly because he over in Minnesota killing, like dropping triple doubles left and right, a young leader on their team. And the thought is y'all couldn't get that out of Io, a Chicago hometown kid, while he was here. There were a few Cubs to Sox or Sox to Cubs trades on there, including 2017 when the Cubs traded Dylan Cease and Eloy Jimenez to the White Sox for Jose Quintana. A lot of people said that worked out terribly for Cease and Jimenez. I mean, as bad as the Sky trades have been, the Bulls trades either over the last decade have felt misplaced. Like trading for Levine and for DeMar DeRozan felt like you were trying, like you were honestly trying to compete. Yeah. But then like these most recent trades of moving pretty much everybody out from Vucevic to Kobe White to Io, those all feel like we are in the umpteenth rebuild.
We've been in a rebuilding year my entire adult life. Almost every team in Chicago. If we weren't winning a championship, we were rebuilding and spiraling. Oh my God. Being a Chicago sports fan is not for the faint of heart. We are a hardy people.
We are. And we love it. And we love it. I'll really shout out to the person who remarked that the White Sox trading Sammy Sosa was the worst trade. It was one of the worst trades, but it's also the best trade because the Cubbies got him. This is why Chicago's a great sports city, is because we can have the worst trade and the best trade in the exact same moment.
I'm still mad at the White Sox for trading 3 whole guys for Nick Swisher. And that man was here for a year.
As long as it takes to smoke a Swisher.
I'm saying he had the lowest batting average in the league for the whole year he was here. And then he went to the Yankees, married the girl from Reba, and is just living his best life. I feel like he should have to pay for his Chicago crimes.
Would I say worst trades of all time? Any other ones come to mind for y'all?
Wait, I think you listed them great.
I never liked Adam Dunn.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Why not?
He and I had words one time at Miller Park when he was on the Reds, and it was a Cubs game.
The big donkey? You and the big donkey ain't get along.
I was chirping out in the outfield, as you do.
Oh.
And he turned around and called me some names, and I called him some names, and then bada bing, bada boom, like 3 seasons later, he's on the Sox. I'm like, oh, damn it. My nemesis.
I mean, I don't think this was the worst in terms of what we got in return, but I mean, the fire sale when the Cubs traded Javi and Brian Rizzo, that just back to back. It was just like Cubs fans on the ground across the country, broken hearts in the cardiac wards.
One of the best days of my life as a Sox fan, because it was them admitting it was over. It's time to get ready for 10-year anniversary celebrations, big dog. Get like the rest of us and celebrate the championships of the past.
My nephews were so tiny and they were so crying. And I was like, welcome exactly. To being a sports fan, guys.
Yep.
This is going to happen.
That was one of my favorite days on the podcast. I want to know the exact day that happened. Because I remember getting the alert. Oh my God. What day did they trade all those people? July 2025?
I think my sisters text me and they were just like, what's happening? We're all like, no. We're all spiraling. Then we had to be strong for the kids. We had to be strong for the kids.
Yeah, July 30th,
yes.
2021. Oh my God. I was happier on that day than in 2016 when they ended the 100-year curse. I was like, yeah, gonna admit that it's over.
I work across the street from Wrigley Field, and let me tell you, that neighborhood does not care how well the Cubs are doing. People are going to be out. Out, I say. Out.
Give me the old McDonald's parking lot and some Newports any day.
R.I.P. Taco Bell.
I just want to see 2 suburban guys kicking the crap out of each other over nothing, for no good reason. I want to be stuck on the Clark Street bus watching it happen.
The gym I go to is across from Wrigley, and I like to sit on the patio and listen to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, perfect.
Well, I love that for you. I do love the joy y'all get from it, but I do also love the sadness it steeps you in like a good warm cup of tea. On a completely different topic, last week we talked about American Airlines offering bus flights from South Bend and Rockford to O'Hare. Basically, you go to those airports and then take a bus to O'Hare to catch your connecting flight. There are a bunch of TikToks that went around where folks were surprised to see their flight was actually a bus. So I'm curious, how would y'all react in that situation? You go through security, you're ready to board, and then they just walk you down the tarmac and get on this coach bus.
I think I would be on the no-fly zone fly list after that. I would throw such a fit to be like, what the hell is happening? I mean, if I knew it was a bus on the get-go, sure. But like, if I have to go through security to get on a bus, no.
That article you sent had this girl going from South Bend, Indiana to O'Hare for $430-something. If I'm paying $430 and you put my ass on a bus, I'm throwing your ass underneath it, okay? Because I did not pay half a band to ride a Greyhound. Are you kidding me?
For you to kind of to maybe bury it in the promotion. It's like, oh, your flight's a bus. And you're just like, oh, like an Airbus. All right, cool. And I mean, you are eventually going to connect to a flight, but the entire time on the bus, I imagine y'all are fuming.
Just rolling around looking at corn.
The fact that they called it landline is offensive. Offensive.
So Kate reached out to us and is apparently into it. Actually, this is what they had to say. I split my time between Chicago and the Rockford area, and very recently almost booked one of these trips. I was headed to Richmond, a newly added destination out of Rockford, but I noticed any flights I tried to book had an O'Hare layover. I thought that was a crazy leg to fly, so I just booked O'Hare. Honestly, if I had known it was a bus, I probably would have taken it. Rockford already has great bus service to O'Hare, but this would be based on my departure time, not shuttle schedule. I'm pretty sure the airport also has cheaper parking than the shuttle. I think it's a great idea as long as you know you're getting on a bus. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
what a dramatic diversion of expectations, especially at like 5 a.m. would be
Mm,
genuinely disorienting. That I kind of said that as well. Like if I know I have to take a bus to the flight, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And I also understand that there's some benefit of just going through the smaller airports security versus going through O'Hare. But again, if I get on the other side of security, and maybe I didn't do all of the necessary reading to realize this was going to happen, but also know that the marketing kind of coaxed me through the process. So I didn't pay attention too hard. I'd be royally pissed on the other side, staring at what I've been told is a pretty climate controlled TV available bus. But like you said, 30-minute, 45-minute flight, 2.5 hour bus ride. That's not a trade. That's one of the worst trades. I didn't agree to this. I
yeah,
didn't agree to this.
that's worse than the Swisher trade.
I
But not the
mean,
gun one.
I do have to say that
I was just
the
an
bus is
acronym.
probably more eco-friendly than the plane.
Yes,
So
yes.
I'm willing to do that trade. But I do need to know on purchase. I need to know on purchase.
Yeah,
Give me pictures of the bus. Make it clear. Like go over and above to let me know where I'm supposed to
Like
be going.
like on Google Maps when it's like use a little
Hmm.
walking icon and then you have to get on the bus and the train
Yeah,
icon.
yeah.
Yeah.
do they have these
Someone,
people out on the tarmac? Like, what are they,
yes.
the Beatles? What's going on? I didn't know we were allowed down there.
I
So-
love landing. I love being on the tarmac.
That's for PJs. That's not for the bus.
No, it is always random when I fly into an airport that I'm not familiar with. And like to go on my connecting flight, they walk me down the steps onto the tarmac, and then we gotta like all be in a single file line, like I'm in third grade again. It is something a little novel,
I,
but something that gets me every time. Somebody texted us, we didn't get their name. Hey, CityCast, love the show. Wanted to say that my parents ended up on a bus from the Rockford Airport to O'Hare a few months back and sent this photo of the jetway to the bus, which is absolutely hilarious. That said, one important point you missed on the show: if you take this bus from the Rockford Airport, you go through security in Rockford and do not have to go through again in Chicago. My parents love that. The Rockford Airport was basically empty. They walked through security with no lines, and then had a much easier time at O'Hare. So yeah, basically what I'm seeing here is them packing up this bus with everybody's luggage. Of
Mhm.
course, you got to keep that with you. And it kind of looks like it's the like the ramp you'd go down to get on the plane, and then they've got like a makeshift stairwell at the end of it. And so you go down, you come around thinking maybe you're gonna see the plane, and it's like no. Here's your bus. Here's your bus, sir. So shout out to everybody who reached out to us. We did get one bonus note from Erica out in Austin, who's also a CityCast Chicago neighbor. You can get like them by going to membership.citycast.fm, getting that ad-free listening, them invites to neighbors only events, and we dropping a brand new for neighbors ears only segment at the end of tomorrow's episode. So you should probably sign up today so that you can get that feed locked down for tomorrow's episode. But Erica wanted us to know, Jacoby, I laugh every time you bring up Top Dog. There's a group of us who roast Top Dog all the time and talk about how he's everywhere, even across state lines. Have you ever been to the Top Dog Instagram? It's unhinged. Highly recommend for a good smile in your day. Thanks for everything you do to add to my day each day. Erica, I appreciate that I'm not the only one trying to find humor in them. I literally just a few moments ago looked out this window when there was a siren going by and saw a completely wrapped CTA bus with Top Dog's face on it. Those commercials are ridiculous. The
Attorney
posts are
General.
crazier. I have to turn off the radio when they come on. They're. Did you see that dog in your neighborhood? Did it bite you? Oh, you need to call Top Dog. He gonna get you all the money you need. Your neighbor's wild dog should not just be out in these streets biting on you. Call Top Dog Law now. I appreciate y'all being here. Again, if you want to reach out with your episode ideas, your reactions to some of the stories we're talking about, 773-780-0246, and you might end up hearing it on the podcast. I want to give another huge thank you to our guest today, Jill Hopkins. Thank you for making time.
Ooh, thanks. I'll see you in real life soon.
Yes, ma'am. And Veronica Ariola, thank you for supporting the podcast as long as you have and for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Some good news. The 42nd Annual Latino Film Festival kicks off this Thursday at Landmark Theaters off Diversey and Clark with over 80 films planned over the next 2 weeks. I'm going to drop a link to the full festival lineup in our show notes. We are going to be back bright and early tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Peace.